All right, coming live from the hot box. Very hot today. It's about 98 degrees outside, and it's about 105 in this studio. The air conditioning broke. But anyways, we got to bring you the stories of the day. Iran, this whole Abraham Accords thing, I think it'll probably be one of the most genius things if he can get this done in Trump's administration since he's been president. In the second term, but in the first term, he got the Abraham Accords, which many argue is one of the greatest peace deals to ever be signed. And we're also going to talk about this whole Tony Hinchcliffe comments about George Floyd and Kevin Hart's response to that. I have a lot of thoughts there. And also the Knicks are in the finals, which is a big deal. And the city's going bananas. And I was looking for a video because Mandami didn't allow certain celebrations to happen in front of MSG, and he allows other protests to happen against our country, but that's not okay. And I was trying to look for a clip, and I actually came across a very interesting clip that I have a lot of comments of him going out interviewing Knicks fans. So I thought that was pretty cool. So I'm going to show you guys the video, and then I'm going to comment on it. But anyways, let's start with our first story. It's probably the leading story right now in the world. Iran peace deal. God knows we need it. Gas prices are still, diesel cost is over $5. That is starting to have reactionary effects to our economy here in the States and the global economy, right? Like if you go I went to a restaurant the other day, and I'm very cautious. I keep telling you guys, I'm very cautious when I go out to restaurants and what I'm spending. The prices have gone up. I bought a skirt steak, and it was almost $50 with rice and beans and like a drink. I didn't even realize it was like 48 something with tip. Just crazy. When you used to pay 20 something dollars for a meal like that down here, now that's $48. You're starting to see the effects of when diesel prices go up to the prices that they're in today. It's going to translate to the consumer, to us. So you're starting to see it. We need a deal badly, and hopefully they get this deal done. But the whole Abraham Accords thing is very interesting play by Trump. I think it's genius. If you can get Saudi Arabia to come to the table, Qatar, Pakistan, Turkey, Egypt, Jordan, and normalize relations with Israel. And if you can add in Iran, I think it's the greatest peace deal probably in the history of the world if Trump is able to accomplish it. Still remain to be seen if he can really pull this off. I don't know if he can, but if he does, I mean, you're talking about Nobel Peace Prize type stuff. Like he should win the Nobel Peace Prize. I think I'm saying it right. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but the Nobel Peace, he should win it. If he's able to accomplish this, because it'll be the biggest peace deal in that region ever. So, I think it's brilliant. Whoever gave him this idea, and if he's able to accomplish it, it'll just be great. Roll the clip.
Live from the North Lawn. Good evening, Peter.
Good evening, Brett. President Trump just announced that a cabinet trip to Camp David tomorrow has been canceled due to possible bad weather. So he's going to get the group together here at the White House instead, and they need to talk about these new U.S. strikes on Iran. The U.S. says they were defensive. The Iranians say they violated the ceasefire and won't go unanswered.
The straits have to be out. They're going to be open one way or the other.
Iran says it'll do it if $24 billion in frozen funds are unfrozen, according to Iran state-run media. That's a no-go for Republicans like Ted Cruz, complaining if new Iranian leaders are receiving billions of dollars, being able to enrich uranium and develop nuclear weapons, and having effective control over the Strait of Hormuz, then that outcome would be a disastrous mistake. Experts, not as worried.
And I'm absolutely convinced we're not going to make a bad deal.
Part of President Trump's preferred deal: make Gulf partners join the Abraham Accords, formally recognizing Israel as a way to say thanks to the U.S. for dealing with Iran. This was first discussed when Saudi Arabia's crown prince visited the White House in November.
I think I got a positive response. Would you like to respond?
Yeah, so definitely we want to be part of the Abraham Accord, but we want also to be sure that we secure a clear path of two-state solution.
President Trump posted today, just finished my 6-month physical at Walter Reed Military Medical Center. Everything checked out perfectly. He then phoned Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu from the Oval Office as Vice President Vance hosted a meeting of the Fraud Task Force.
Fraud is not a victimless crime.
The VP rattled off some eye-popping numbers.
Over $22 billion in fraudulent small business loans, $1.3 billion in fraudulent Medicaid reimbursements, $6.3 billion in suspected fraudulent government contracts, $60 million in student aid fraud.
And thanked Democratic states, Connecticut and Oregon for sending representatives.
And it's attorneys general, right? Not attorney generals. It's very counterintuitive. We got to change this.
There's also a lot of questions about President Trump's trip to Walter Reed today. He was there on campus for about 3.5 hours. Officials tell us it was for both a medical and dental
You can cut the clip.
and that we.
So here are the questions that I have for you guys. Would you trade the money in order to get this peace deal? And how long does Iran really uphold to the deal? That's the question that I have, and I think that's the question many would have is, would they honor this deal, or are they just trying to get the $24 billion and restart their program again? What insurances are we going to have in this deal that they do not get uranium again to build nuclear weapons? I don't have a problem with them getting the money if we have guarantees and certain guardrails on them not getting uranium again. Right? You cannot have them with a nuclear weapon because their ideology, we're never going to change that, and they're willing to die for their cause. Let's just call it what it is. They are willing to die for their cause. And you would think after knocking out 30 of their leaders in one shot, they would have come to the table by now, and they haven't. These people stand on what their ideals are, and can you really truly get them into the Abraham Accords? I don't know, and I think that's a stretch. I think this stems for a very, very long time, and I think just the ideology is not there between Israel, the West, and Iran. I just don't know how you get this deal done with them coming into the Abraham Accords. Again, if Trump is able to accomplish this and get everyone in that region to come into the Abraham Accords and really eliminate us from keeping Iran accountable, and now the Middle East is basically in control of Iran and making sure that the relations are going the way they're supposed to with Israel, then I think it could really work. And I think it'll be the greatest peace deal in the history of the world if you can really get this done. So a lot to be seen there. Look, at the end of the day, to get a deal done, both sides got to want to do it. At the end of the day, that's how you get a deal done. And does Iran truly want to come to the table? And what guarantees is the United States going to give Iran on not attacking them again, on loosening sanctions on them, their economy? There's a lot of stuff to dissect here. And is this just an off-ramp by Trump just to get this thing over with? And I just hope that it doesn't turn into a bad deal by giving them this money, which I don't. Look, if you have certain guardrails and they allow certain things to make sure that they don't get uranium, I think this can work. And if you get all the partners in the Middle East, like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Pakistan, Turkey, Egypt, Jordan, all these countries to come in and hold Iran accountable, I think it could be done. There's a lot to be seen there. All right, changing the topic now. Let's get into this whole Tony Hinchcliffe, Kevin Hart situation. Tony Hinchcliffe had, when you go to these roasts, anything's expected. Everything's on the table. And if you saw the Tom Brady roast, they did not hold back after going after Gisele Bündchen and the jiu-jitsu trainer that was banging her. Like, they just didn't hold back, and they got into a relationship, all that. Like, they went after Tom Brady, and if you sign up for a roast, you're going to get it. And all things are on the table. It doesn't matter if it's your mother, your father, your kids. And that is, listen, that is the arena that industry has built. And if you play in that sandbox, everything's up for discussion. Everything's up for a joke. And that's just the way it is. You can like it, not like it, but that's the way it is in that industry. And from afar, you kind of got to respect it. Tony Hinchcliffe had remarks about George Floyd. Roll the clip. We're going to show here the joke, and then I got comments about this, and then I'm going to show Kevin Hart's response to Tony Hinchcliffe because he was getting pressed by Charlemagne on the Breakfast Club. Go ahead.
Kevin told me not to mention your kids on this roast, but I must say, you did good. They've gotten so big, they now buckle Kevin up in the car seat. It's true he lost his gig hosting the Academy Awards because of some homophobic tweets, but you'd be homophobic too if you were eye level with everyone's cock. He got into a fist fight on a private plane. Proof that no matter how much money black people have, they're still just gonna act like ninjas. Always fighting. Like Bill Cosby, Hart is a black comedian from Philadelphia, and like Bill Cosby, women don't know when Kevin is inside of them. You've done good, though, Kevin. The black community is so proud of you. Right now, George Floyd is looking up at us all, laughing so hard that he can't breathe.
You cut the clip right there. So this is where everybody has their, hands, they're up in arms. Stack Jack from All the Smoke is going crazy. Everybody's going crazy over these comments. But where's the outrage when Drewski went after Erica Kirk, a widow that her husband got killed in front of the whole world? And you guys were all laughing. You didn't come out to the defense of Erica Kirk. You guys just said it was comedy. So what's different in this scenario? That's the question I have for you guys, because a lot of you that are up in arms now, where were you when Drewski did what he did against Erica Kirk? Because I thought that was tasteless, even though I said it was funny. And I thought from a comedian standpoint, I could see where he was coming from. I wrestled with it, but I thought it was funny. I made a video on this. I made a post. If you go to my Instagram, you see what I said. But now that it's been reversed on you, now you have a problem on it. And now we're going to, the George Floyd situation, don't get me wrong, was terrible. There's a lot of procedural things there with that officer, that can be debated on how he handled that situation. But it was horrible. Nobody deserves to die that way. But you guys are making out George Floyd to be this type, this hero. And now you're jumping out in front, now you're jumping out because of comedians' jokes. And listen, what's good for the goose has to be good for the gander. And in this particular situation, let's just let comedians be comedians. And I said this on the show the other day, like, we got to stop with this whole cancel culture. Just because we don't agree with each other and our ideologies, we can understand what things are for what they are and respect it. Even if you don't like it, just respect the art of being a comedian. And that is it. You can like it, not like it, but I think that we have to stop trying to cancel people, because this has been accepted in that industry forever. This is not something that's new in that industry. If you go back to the Richard Pryors, the Eddie Murphys went after gays in his comedy. Nobody canceled him back then. It was just part of it. Jamie Foxx. I could go on and on and on of comedians that this is what they do. And if you don't like it, just don't watch it. But this is what they do in their arena. This is their sport. So let's roll Kevin Hart's clip here. I think his response was brilliant.
Yeah, the George Floyd joke, it wasn't a tasteful joke to our culture, to our audience. But our audience that's watching the roast, if you're watching the roast, you get why they're doing it. You get why the racial humor is on the table. Like, it's not, I wasn't shocked. Like, that's what they do. Go look at the Tom Brady one. Like, that's what they do. It happens every year when they do a roast. It's not new. This isn't it's not a new agenda. It's not a new approach to comedy.
Do you feel like Tony Hinchcliffe went too far when he made that joke about George Floyd?
It's Tony Hinchcliffe.
Yeah.
Like, I don't expect less. I don't expect more.
I feel like you're saying going too far is the point. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Yes, I mean, that's why you're there. Mm-hmm. And I hate to say this, but I'm going to, because we're being honest. People are talking about that joke. Talk about his set. Tony Hinchcliffe arguably had the best set, or one of the best sets, between Tony and Cheryl, and I would say Naeem had a really strong set.
Naeem had a very strong set. I was laughing out loud at Tony until that joke.
Until the joke.
But not even just that joke. I don't like when people joke about violent, tragic death. I liked Pete's set, and then I was like, why you had to say
so what was
Charlemagne when
Pete had a great set too.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he said something, but Drewski went and did it. Everybody was laughing.
No.
Everybody was having a good time on Erica Kurtz's expense.
Yes, like, I'm not looking at Pete crazy.
Where was the outrage then?
I'm not looking at Tony.
And maybe I'm wrong. Put it in the comments. Show me, because I haven't seen anything.
I know your style
like
of
this.
Comedy.
Did you see the interview that I did with Terrence Floyd, George Floyd's brother?
No.
So he said,
no shot to you.
No, okay. that's look.
I'm never watching that.
That's fine.
I just want to be clear. I'm never watching that. Like,
I only brought it up.
Even now that you told me, I'm not going to go back and go look at that interview.
Because he's a fan.
But I just want to make it clear so you understand what I do with my time. Like, I'm never doing that. Okay, go ahead.
I just asked because he's a fan of you. He saw the joke and it picked up pretty big. So I didn't know if you saw it, but he basically said, like, as a fan of you and knowing that you came to the funeral to support his family, even though it's a roast and Tony, that's what he does, they expected you to kind of be the person that would like stop it right in the moment or just not allow for certain things to happen.
And he also said he wanted you to come harder. He said if they're going to joke, why you ain't come harder with your own jokes?
All right.
Racist jokes, I guess.
This is actually a good thing to give a rebuttal to.
See, then
They talked about my dead mom and my dead dad. Said that they were running a train on my mom and
that was hilarious,
right?
It was
that
double
was
entendre.
crazy. Yeah, that was Regina killed that.
Right?
Oh wait, that's right. You probably should say killed that.
The jokes about Kevin was on a slave ship in a bottle with like the ship in the bottle. Like, I'm going to appreciate humor. I don't get affected by the attempt of humor. I get it, right? In this case, like, do more. It's my production. We're live. The more is what? Like, what is it that you expect me? You want me to take a live production and stand up and fight Tony or have a reaction? Like, Tony told a joke. It wasn't a tasteful joke to us. We didn't like it. Okay. Hey, man, fuck that joke. We move on. I don't understand why we stand on a hill and it becomes like this big thing of like, oh man, the motherfuckers, they do this and they're attacking the culture. It doesn't have to be that. It literally is either you're a fan of this level of content or you're not.
Perfect.
And if you're not a fan.
Excellent response. Exactly what I was saying. Respect the content, respect the industry. If you don't like it, don't watch it. But this is what they do in that industry. And this is how they portray humor. You can like it, not like it, whatever. And the problem is that everybody has one of these things right here, and we can just put our opinions out really, really quick, and then we get outraged. We live in a tribal society, tribal world. If you're not on our side, then you're against us. And if you say something, we're going to be outraged. And we just lived in an outraged tribal type society, and this is what you're going to get. And then you have so many podcasting shows that we got to have these conversations because it's just what's trending, and this is what you guys are watching. So we have to have conversations, and we make things bigger than what they really are. And that's part of this whole entire outrage world that we live in, is that we, in this space, feel that we have to talk about these things to get engagement. And that's the reality. That's as honest as open as I can be. Why do I talk about the topics I talk about? Because they're trending right now. And it's stuff that's going to get engagement, right? So I think that's just the world we live in. And that's what we have to understand, that's the world that we live in today. Like it, not like it. I think it's unfortunate in some of these situations. And we got to just stop. I said it the other day, stop trying to cancel each other and start laughing at each other. Because just this whole cancel culture thing is it's exhausting. It's tiring. And it's getting old. It's getting old. It's getting old. We get upset about every single little thing that can get taken out of context. You do a 4-hour podcast, you say one thing, they reclip it. Now you're the worst person in the world, but they don't understand the context behind what you said. And that's just the world we live in today. So that's all I got there. I thought it was, something to have a conversation about. I hear both sides, but, I go back to where was the outrage when Erica Kirk and Drewski did the portrayal of Erica Kirk, which I thought it was funny from a comedian standpoint. I thought it was pretty funny. Tasteless, but I thought it was funny nevertheless. And I didn't go up in arms about it, even though I think Erica's getting a lot of unnecessary evil her way and commentary and opinions about her and the situation, her life, running Turning Point USA, all that stuff. I just think it's very unnecessary for a widow. You just put yourself in her shoes. You lost your husband on national television. The world was watching. Now you got to uphold his legacy because you feel like you owe it to him. Now you got to take over this company and just the world's coming at you. It's a really shitty position to be in, and I wish people had more compassion towards that, but they don't, and that's just the reality where we're at. All right, let's talk about the Knicks. The Knicks are in the finals. I think it's 27 years since the last time they were in the finals. They got mollywopped the last time they were in the finals, but this is an opportunity to really. I think they have a shot, honestly. I know OKC is great. They got a deep bench, but I really think they have a shot. And if you've seen these fan videos, man, I mean, I think it means the world to them. And me being a Heat fan, right? Like, never in my life would I thought that I would be rooting for a Knicks team, and I am. How can you not root for Jalen Brunson? I mean, his story is incredible. Got traded from Dallas to New York. His dad was a coach. And you see the videos of when Jalen was a kid and his dad pushing his ass. And Jalen never quit. And look at where Jalen's at today. I mean, how do you not get behind that story? Just an incredible ball player. And these fans are freaking nuts, man. They're crazy. These are my type of people. I love this passion. Like, I love the Stephen A. Smiths going nuts about this. So I was looking, Mandami, I'm gonna bring it back to the political side of this. Mandami, made some, I was trying to look for a video or something about him stopping certain celebrations in front of MSG. I couldn't really find anything, but I came across this video and I thought it was interesting. And I mean, look, if you look at Mandami from the surface, he seems like a cool dude, right? Like, man, he's cool, he's hip, he's got different ideas. He wants to help society. He wants to help the poor and the middle class. But when you go deeper into the ideology, that ideology's never worked. But I found this conversation so interesting of him going to the Knicks fans and asking them questions about their city, and I was just blown back. So roll the clip. Oh, hold on. This clip is the everybody going nuts here. Is this the Mandami clip? Well, they're screaming USA, but let's go to the Mandami clip. That's okay. Let's just go straight to the Mandami clip. There we go. All right. So it was 5.
Here we are. We're spinning a ball. What's going on, everybody? It's Zoran Mamdani. It's Knicks playoff season out here. Let's see what New Yorkers are thinking right now.
Freeze the rent! Freeze the rent! Yo, New York, where we stand at?
How are you feeling about how much it costs to watch the Knicks?
They're pricing out a lot of the fans.
It's like $400 and change for to get in the building.
You can bring the prices of the Knicks tickets down a little bit.
Yeah, that might be a little beyond me. How do you feel about how much it costs to live in New York City right now?
I am currently in the process of trying to find my own place to live. How can I do that sustainably while also supporting myself, supporting my loved ones? We deserve so much better.
Everything's so damn expensive. Even like middle-class families are struggling just to get by.
How do you guys feel about life in New York City right now?
It's the best.
How about the cost of living?
Sucks.
Our plan is to freeze the rent, to make the buses fast and free, deliver universal child care, have a network of city-owned grocery stores with guaranteed cheaper prices, raise the minimum wage. We got to make this a city that people can afford.
Hey, you're driving all the wealthy people out, so who's going to pay for all this?
What would you say if we were to freeze the rent for more than 2 million New Yorkers? Would you support that?
Oh, my God. You got my vote for life.
Freeze the rent for... Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
How you feeling about the Knicks game tonight?
I mean, I feel great, but I'm more excited about you, man. We're trying to get, transportation, education, affordability. We're behind you.
Listen, a lot of stuff's going on in the world. Speaking the truth, and we appreciate that.
I love to see you actually out here in New York City, unlike a certain candidate.
Say his name.
Cuomo.
I'm going to take him over Cuomo any day of the week.
It's me, bro. That's me.
I feel like these guys are all planned.
Oh, shit. I'm going to make sure everybody vote for my guy. What's his name again?
That's my name, Zoran.
You don't even know his name. All right, so put the clip. I got a lot to say here. Pricing out of the game. Need to make games more affordable. It's called supply and demand. Learn economics 101. There's a high demand. It's going to go up in price. It's called capitalism. It is what it is. You want to go to these games? You're going to have to make a little bit more money to figure it out. Grocery stores being ran by the government. You know who does that? Cuba. Okay? Cuba does that. And you get a ration once a month because the government can't sustain buying food for everybody. Because, listen, communism or these socialist ideas, but these are very far left-leaning type of ideas. This is not even socialism. Because if you look at the United States, we have a lot of socialist programs, and which, okay, look, we need guardrails against certain things for people that are underprivileged and middle class. I think there's certain things that need to be in place, but this is full-on, full-blown, pretty much communist ideas of running government-ran grocery stores. What do you think is going to happen there? They're going to start giving rations. And the problem is with these ideologies, the people at the top pushing these things don't live by that standard. Go look at Castro, how much money his family has. It's close to, I forgot the number. I think it's $900 million they have in offshore accounts. How does that even, I mean, they can't even afford to run the public transportation right now with gas, but you got the family with $900 million in offshore accounts. And these people are the ones that want you to live in a world of equality, but they're not living equal to you. They have every resource imaginable, private planes, watches, cars, trips to anywhere in the world. In Cuba, you can't travel anywhere without a visa or the permission of the government. But they can. Where's the equality in that? So yet, look, I like the Mandamis going out in the streets and having conversations with the people, but the question I have is how many of those people, the part he doesn't show is how many didn't want to interview with him or are upset at him for what he's doing to New York City. Yeah, everybody's happy here. But when you go into the root of what he's pushing, it's never worked. How are you driving the wealth out of New York? How are you going to pay for all this? You got to get the money from somewhere. So if you don't cut the budget, then who's paying for it? Who are you going to tax to pay for free childcare, free groceries, free transportation, free schooling, everything free? Everything's free. There's no such thing as a free lunch. So I thought when I came across this video, I was like, I got to talk about this. Sounds great. He seems really cool, down to earth. You know, he can communicate probably with the Gen Zers, the millennials. Seems like, you know, like Obama had that same type of presence, right? Like you hear Obama speak and you're like, damn, I can get behind the guy like this. And I'm not saying Obama was as radical as Mandami, but Obama had a lot of, you know, tendencies towards communism. Like, look, he was with Raul Castro at a baseball game. And these people, look, these people flirt with the idea of communism. And they push it little by little to see how much are we willing to tolerate it here in this country. And that's how it happens. And it's a slow progression. Look, I think the income inequality is going to drive a lot of socialism in this country because people are desperate. They're looking for answers. But I don't think the answer is this is such an easy sell to get a constituent to vote for you, to get people to vote for you by selling them free stuff. It's so easy. But don't be intellectually lazy and just look at the history. Like you can just do research. One guy there didn't even know what Mandami's name was. And I'm sure he probably went to a ballot box and voted him in. Who knows? Or didn't even vote, honestly. So it's just interesting that the stuff that he's selling, people are just buying it and eating it up. And I never understand because it's so surface level. But if you go deeper into what the ideology is and what it stands for, it's never worked. And this is how you end up in a really, really bad situation. There's certain things that needs to happen in this country. The middle class needs to get stronger. There needs to be a solution to this. But I don't think the Democrats nor these socialist communists are bringing any ideas that are really going to help the middle class. It's only going to further away the rich from the poor, and that middle class is going to lean more towards the poor, and that's where you get real problems. And I don't want to see the day that this turns our country into a communist state. And people have this argument all the time. It's never going to happen here. Our Constitution, sure, Venezuela had a Constitution, Cuba had a Constitution. There's always a way, and they just keep pushing it slowly and surely. You get the population behind you because of what you're selling them, and you can get it done. It's a slow progression towards it, but it could happen. So don't be naive. All right, that concludes our show today. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. Hit me up in those comments, but please, about 80% of you that are watching right now are not subscribed. Hit the subscribe button. It's very easy to do. It'll be supporting us. It'll be supporting the show, and we can continue doing this. So again, guys, thank you, and catch you guys on the next one.